People are using Codex compliance as a weapon in a much bigger economic battle. So, every country in the world is racing to do what? To become Codex compliant. In the United States, the situation is, okay, how do we become Codex compliant when we have laws that protect us? And you have to remember that Codex does not serve consumer well-being, does not serve health. It serves what I call the 5 bigs. Big pharma, big chema, big biotechna, big agribiz, and big medica. Little you and little me are not served by Codex in the least. You may not know that although it is said that Codex guidelines, regulations, and standards which have been ratified are voluntary, they are not voluntary. That is known as a lie. They are mandatory, but they are not fully mandatory until December 31st, 2009. They're sort of a little bit mandatory now, and they're totally mandatory then.
Fleisch.
An application for a patent on pigs.
Es geht ganz einfach um die Einforderung von Lizenzen auf geistiges Eigentum.
Are pigs an invention or the common property of all of us? Who owns the pig?
Es geht um die Patentierung, um die Privatisierung von Gensequenzen.
Genes on pig DNA, decoded and described by the Monsanto Corporation of America. But these genes have always been there. Will we soon be forced to pay fees for nature's heritage?
It is a very, very big business plan, and it includes control of food, from the seed in the field to the fork.
The politically charged patent is soon to go into effect worldwide. Christoph Zimmer, a farmer from Swabia, sees his livelihood in jeopardy. Is he soon to be prohibited from breeding pigs because their genetic material belongs to a corporation?
Ja, das kann's im Prinzip nicht sein, dass unsere Tiere praktisch der amerikanische Konzern gehören. Und ja, wir im Prinzip die Tiere noch füttern dürfen und halten dürfen, aber die darüber entscheiden dürfen, was mit den Tieren passiert.
Monsanto, company headquarters in St. Louis, Missouri, heavily guarded like the maximum security wing of a prison. This is where the idea for a worldwide pig monopoly was born. In the lab, scientists are hard at work on an ongoing series of new patents. The goal is worldwide domination in the field of food production. An annual sales volume of more than 4 billion euros is realized here. Up until now, primarily by means of genetically engineered plants and seed.
There's nothing they're leaving untouched. The mustard, the okra, the brinjal, the rice. Once they have established the norm that seed can be owned as their property, royalties can be collected, we will depend on them for every seed we grow, of every crop we grow. If they control seed, they control food, they know it. It's more powerful than bombs. It's more powerful than guns. This is the best way to control the populations of the world.
The real question, and I think it's a new order question, is how do you share that? So when we launched drought tolerance in 2012, 2013 in the US, and we will.
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order.
The way we're going to win over the long term is not just militarily. We've got to give them a stake in creating the kind of world order that I think all of us would like.
A new world is emerging. It is a new world order with significantly different and radically new challenges for the future.
When really a new world order can be created, it's a great opportunity. It isn't just a crisis.
You may not have heard of it, but some say Bilderberg is secretly trying to take over the world.
I think the idea of a world government, which is what Bilderberg is into, by and large, the idea of a one-world community, a new world order. You know, they see that as
They see themselves as a government as opposed to a group of world leaders or people with influence at a global level who are talking about global issues, do they?
They see themselves as headhunters. They'll get an up-and-coming politician who they think may be president or prime minister one day, and as globalist industrialist leaders who believe that politics shouldn't be in the hands of the politicians, they try and influence them with wise words in the corridors outside the sessions.
Edward L. Bernays is regarded by many as the father of public relations. He was born in Vienna, Austria. Bernays was the nephew of Sigmund Freud. Bernays pioneered the use of psychology and other social sciences to design public persuasion campaigns. He published several scholarly works, still used in universities worldwide today. And he also spearheaded the national campaign to fluoridate the water supply of America through the Fluoridationist of the Public Health Service.
This is one pollutant that we capture in the phosphate fertilizer industry, and having captured it, we can't dump it into the sea, but we put it into our own drinking water. It's extraordinary.
Fluoride in our water supply is a very real and ever-present risk to our population at large.
Dennis, let's make sure we're clear on this. Fluoride, it is in tea, it's in coffee, it's in water, it's in bread, it's in toothpaste, but it's actually a poison, right?
It sure is, and here's the quickest evidence. Go to your bathroom and pick up your toothpaste, and you'll see a warning that if a child swallows more than a pea-sized amount of toothpaste, call poison control.
Wow.
The protected pollutant status that fluoride enjoys within EPA and other federal establishments is remarkable, as the charts over here show.
Last November, concerns over excess fluoride prompted the American Dental Association to warn parents not to mix baby formula with tap water during an infant's first 12 months.
Phyllis Mullenix found that fluoride in very modest doses produces effects in laboratory animals resembling attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder.
She says, "Do you have any idea what you're saying?" And he says, "You're telling us that we're reducing the IQ of children." And basically I said, yes.
Scientists like Nobel Prize winner Arvid Carlson and a large group of EPA scientists have called for the banning of fluoride because we don't know how much we're ingesting, so we don't know if we're being poisoned.
Fluoride can also build up in the bones to cause pain, stiff joints, and skeletal abnormalities when they get older.
It's a cumulative poison. It just gradually builds up and it gradually causes harm.
Do you know when the fluoride was first put in drinking water? In the Nazi concentration camp. Stands back in amazement, can't believe it. This is Charles Perkins, a chemist who wrote to the Lee Foundation for Nutritional Research, Milwaukee, Wisconsin in 1954, and this is what he wrote. In the 1930s, Hitler and the German Nazis envisaged a world to be dominated and controlled by a Nazi philosophy of pan-Germanism. The German chemists worked out a very ingenious and far-reaching plan of mass control, which was submitted to and adopted by the German General Staff. This plan was to control the population in any given area through mass medication of drinking water supplies. By this method, they could control the population in whole areas, reduce population by water medication that would induce sterility in women, and so on. In this scheme of mass control, sodium fluoride occupied a prominent place. That's what it's about.
Health authorities in the UK are being instructed by the government to further fluoridate public drinking water. Under Section 58 of the Water Act 2003, water companies now have to fluoridate drinking water if asked to do so by a strategic health authority. The government has suggested that fluoridated drinking water leads to a decrease in tooth decay and therefore a reduction in dental health costs. However, many studies appear to show that, on the contrary, fluoridated water actually increases dental problems and potentially has many other adverse health effects. When I contacted the Department of Health, they informed me that the decision to continue fluoridating British drinking water was made based on a scientific review conducted at York University.